Hi, I'm your boy Terry. My username across the internet is Surpassinggoogle, and welcome to my video. I'm a legitimate illiterate, and this is going to be a short video. I'll try to keep it short. After a brief introduction, I'm going to be explaining a verse drawn from the curriculum of legitimate illiteracy for your understanding. Before that, let me just briefly explain what legitimate illiteracy is. Legitimate illiteracy is knowledge derived from the down-to-earth spaces of Mama Earth. It's a revelation of the knowledge contained in the no books. So many of the books have been written, but there is knowledge contained in the no books, and this is legitimate illiteracy. It's not painted, it's real and uncut, and it's a necessary knowledge necessary for human evolution. There is an existence of knowledge in the world, but I call it outer space knowledge. For knowledge to be made whole, there needs to be a revelation of legitimate illiteracy. This brings about balance to knowledge and makes knowledge available to anyone, simplifies knowledge. Now, once you have knowledge, whole knowledge, then you are better positioned to evolve in your human. Legitimate illiteracy, is knowledge about the true state of the world, real life, unpainted stuff. Yes, it's by today's standards, this form of deep knowledge is labeled nonsense, labeled illiterate, but there is sense in nonsense. You just need to sift of this nonsense and you'll find sense therein. So legitimate illiteracy is applicable to every sphere of life, all walks of life. You can apply legitimate illiteracy to put you in, to rank you in levels of greatness, because you now have an edge. When you have access to legitimate illiteracy, you have an edge. You have knowledge contained in the books, as well as knowledge contained in no books. I'm just waiting for that car to pass by. Anyway, let's go ahead. You will get the gist. I have some other videos on this channel, including a trailer that better explains what legitimate illiteracy is. So please go and see the videos. But altogether, you can contact me so that we can have a discussion. Whatever the niche or subject matter is, there is legitimate illiteracy available to complement whatever knowledge exists. Whatever ordeal you're going through, you'll be better empowered in, surmounting these odds when you also have legitimate illiteracy. So please contact me. Let's discuss your ordeals. If you're building a project, whatever it is, I'll be able to give you legitimate illiterate knowledge, valuable to your situation, your evolution as well. So in this video, I'm just going to quickly explain a verse drawn from legitimate illiteracy. I've written them out in verses. There are many reasons for this. For one, I want people to understand, these days attention span is very short, so I want to keep the legitimate illiteracy curriculum in verses so that people can pay attention. Besides, there are other reasons for keeping it in verses. I want people to when I say verses, there are no books, just verses, and the verses are disconnected, so that every time you seek a verse, you have to go through several verses to find that particular verse, enabling you to evolve in the process of finding your desired verse, enabling you to dig of yourself, to ponder and wonder all over again in the process of locating a verse. So, but not to worry, along with each verse there's a video like this explaining it. So that's the essence of this particular video. So this is going to be a very short video. Most of the videos I do are very lengthy, but I'll keep this one short. And it says, the verse says, just a moment, the verse says, we can't change the world, we can adjust it. We can't change the world, we can adjust it. By world standards, many solutions lie around changing the world. I think it's important to establish the reality of that possibility, as it will affect our solution or our path to solutions. And according to legitimate literacy, the notion is that we can only adjust the world, we cannot change it. There are entire enterprises today, entire nations built around wanting to change the world. But by taking that route, it's also possible to go into extremities, to where you actually want to change the reality of the world in terms of possibilities. Today people want to go into outer space, they want to make human clones. They want to change all, the reality of gender, male or female. These days there are like 100 genders. Entire enterprises, entire projects are modeled around changing the world. So perhaps the most important question when it comes to bringing about solutions is whether it's at all a reality or possibility, the ability to change the world. And I say that it is impossible to change the world. We can only adjust it. So when it comes to innovation, steering solutions, a legitimate illiterate is only focused on adjusting the world, more so than changing it. We'll discuss that in better details as we proceed with this video. About changing the world, it's obvious, it's impossible. That's not for us to do. The irony is that the world in itself is filled with half humans. Most times some people become so entitled in the face of accolades and adulation and start to adopt the status of God, the status of full-blown humanhood. In reality, many of us are half humans. Geeks go into outer space, become apprentices under aliens in a bid to find answers pertinent to changing the world. Because from the very outset, that has been the establishment, the theory around which their solutions, modeling their solutions, changing the world. This does take you into extremities, into places of God. It's not for us humans, mere dust, to change the world. We're mortals. We have a cap to our livelihood, a cap even to ordinary human activities. Look at it critically. You can't even drink a bucket of ice cream. Your stomach will shatter. A limit. You can't drink a swimming pool of water. Even if you begin to glorify yourself and attain illusionary invincibility. If you cannot swim, we put you in a 2-foot swimming pool. You won't survive longer than a lizard. A lizard that is not mechanized even a bit for swimming. It will survive better than you. We are mere dust. And how does mere dust undertake the embarkment of, I don't know if embarkment is a word, but under legitimate literacy you can create your language, the embarkment of changing the world, changing the formation of the genes, changing the formation of fruits, the originality, the formation of the human body. And of what value is that in reality? What's too ugly that it needs a changing? And how much power do you really have as a human when in reality you are half human? Yes, many of us are half humans, so untapped. Our brains are powerful and supercomputers, yet we tap only up to 10% of it. And we are feeling so geek-like, so godlike. When you tap 15%, perhaps you can consider that Even so, we're mere dust. And that's some of the issues, permeating the world today. Mere humans are becoming so entitled to where they label others shit, developing, third world. The irony is that these ones are half humans, unevolved, untapped. Once they accrue adulation, accolades, people follow them into outer space, as in their quest to pursue happiness, to seek money. They stop evolving, and yes, so let's look at the world more intently. When you have seen many things become ordinary. So, according to legitimate literacy, you can adjust the world. It's not hard. It starts from your very own evolution, tapping into your shine, into the innermost beauty of your person, attaining your own definition and gifting this definition into the world, swaying the world with your own beauty, influencing the world with your own beauty. It's an entire feat, but it's very possible. When you tap into your shine, then you influence your immediate, you begin to influence and inspire others to become generation fixers as well. You become a generation fixer, and then this manages to affect generations yet born. But most of all, you are simply adjusting the world. We can't attain perfection. We are imperfect, created to be perfect, but lost out on that due to sin. Now we are imperfect. It's not for this world to change. That will happen in paradise. And this is not anything religious. This you will establish as you pay attention to this video, and re-look at the world in its truest state. We just are hyperactive, especially, want to create fiction, want to, but it's not for this generation. There will be a time for that. Of course, we're made in Jehovah's image. That's very powerful stuff, but changing the world, it's a better route to focus on your own evolution. So the reason this is an important topic is this affects many things, from innovation to technological advancement. The base of this endeavors revolves around changing the world. Adjusting the world is more realistic, and where your base aim is to adjust the world, it will affect the evolution of your whether it's an enterprise model, your technology, it will affect its formation. It will make it realistic. It will make it serving of humans. When you're changing the world, you end up building innovations fitting of bots, fitting of human clones, fitting of aliens. Because you end up not taking cognizance of people that you tag as mortals, as flawed. You want to just a moment, let's wait for this car to go through. It's getting really dark, so I'll have to cut this video short. Today is not a very perfect day. I'm just very disoriented in my thoughts. And the truth is, I don't sleep. I've lost all ability to sleep, so I'm so disorganized. My coordination is terrible. So please sift even of my nonsense to find sense therein. This is mostly to appeal to your mind's eyes. so that it sees more things, so that the next time you look at the world, you can gain insight into the true state of the world, away from the pains, the hype. Many things are just utterly hyped. There's reasons for this, so that there's a product that is marketable. These enterprises want to appeal to the, to the, I don't know what aspect of the brain it is, but the aspect of humans that relish fanciful things. So on the corner, it may be a business move altogether. Turn each human into a client, then create things that are outer space born and sell it to humans because they love fanciful things. Humans love to satisfy their impulses, and just take control, sway the nations. So these are some of the things surrounding changing the world. Changing the world adds paint into the world. And when a painted world is an unreal world, yes. So let's pay attention to this. Let's apply it in our in everything that we do. In everything that we do. Let's establish that this is an imperfect world, and let's focus on our evolution. Tapping into our greatness. And yes, I'll have to stop the video here. I apologize for this video. I will try to do another copy of this video when I'm organized. Altogether, you can always contact me. I'll stop the video here. Make sure to stay awesome. I'm your boy Terry.